They swore you'd never hear this. I kept the records until someone else began to vanish. The land remembers. It knows the sound before the lights. We bought the ranch for a song. Deadbolts and chains? Eccentricities, we said. We were wrong. First night, a wolf that shouldn't exist. Too big, too calm, eyes like coins. It bit a calf and shrugged off 3 shots. No blood. A scrap of flesh smelled rotten, like time had already eaten it. Small impossibilities followed. Groceries returned to bags. Towels moved rooms. Tools hung in trees. The house rearranged our lives as if testing us. Then, the lights. Pinpricks at first, then headlights that floated without engines, orbs darting through cottonwoods, an orange ring in the sky revealing a slice of midday. Craft slid through it like fish. You try to catch them. You creep in snow, whisper, aim. They always know. They lift, melt, or swivel and watch you choose. Animals disappeared. Some came back with surgical holes, no blood. Others vanished mid-step. Tracks stopped in mud, like sentences cut off. Dogs? We found them quartered and smoking. The smell is a scar. Poltergeists followed. Objects moved. Voices came from walls, speaking languages that made your teeth ache. Black figures stood at bedsides and watched. Gwen stopped speaking. She began to inventory absences instead. Creatures walked the fields. Shaggy humanoids, canine hybrids with razor claws. A dark craft hovered one night. No sound, colors skittering over the snow. It seemed to count us. The orbs were worst. Red ones toyed with livestock. Blue ones, the blue meanies, hummed terror into you. Walk too close, and your hands shake with someone else's memory. We tried force. Bullets left wrong evidence. Meat fragments that smelled of age. The earth lied. Pits appeared with no displaced soil, as if someone scooped out the ground and hid the crumbs. A funded team came with instruments. They recorded rhythms from below, not engines, but something moving under the pasture. Cameras watched. Notes piled. Science met the dark and scribbled questions. You learn quickly. A bargain price is a toll. The bolts and chains weren't eccentricity. They were a poor defense. Whoever left tried to shut the mouth. This place is a hinge, a spot where rules leak. It experiments on the living like a curious machine. It does not bargain. It measures responses. We left when losses outnumbered hope. Packed truck, sleeping kids, porch light in their faces. In the rear view, the lights gathered at the trees and opened a mouth of sky. My son said he saw holes in the doorway that watched. We drove until the ridge hid the house, until the pin of light narrowed. Distance did not dull it. Tonight, I hear engines, patient and polite, like something marking a calendar. If you see a cheap listing beneath a ridge, remember the bolts, the chains, the rotten smell in empty snow, the blue light that steals breath. I cannot tell you everything. I can only offer the edges. If you go back, bring more than a camera. Bring questions sharp enough to cut closed mouths. Bring something to bargain with. Because the ranch keeps records, and tonight it listens. In winter, the snow kept strange punctuation. Hoofprints ran into clearings and simply stopped. Cows vanished. Some came back sliced like surgical work. Others never returned, leaving a cold notch in the herd. There were holes in the earth with no piles of soil. Soil gone, as if someone had scooped a door into the ground. Night sounds came from below, a grinding, a slow rhythm like rails under dirt. They told of orange rings in the sky, revealing blue daylight at midnight. Craft moved through them. We watched dogs chase red orbs and never return. Blue lights seared the air. Shadows leaned on windows and sometimes crossed the porch like men who had forgotten faces. A funded team arrived with cameras and notebooks. They logged anomalies and took samples. I hide my notes in a guitar case and read them until the ink seems to twitch. The last line in my notebook is one word, underlined twice: return.
They swore you'd never hear this. What I'm about to tell you was supposed to stay buried behind gates, contracts, and a silence that eats people. It began ordinary. A ranch in northern Utah. Cottonwoods, a road that swallowed sound. Towns whispered. Dogs refused to sleep. Farmers crossed themselves. The official line: better weather balloons, pranksters, predictable excuses. Those words fit a headline. The truth was surgical and refused tidy labels. At first came lights, pinpricks that hesitated like eyes. Then they moved, not like aircraft, not like stars, but with an intelligence that mapped the land. The ranch became a chessboard. Someone was always 3 moves ahead. Animals died next. Not torn, not eaten. Clean. Organs removed with clinical precision. A calf found hollowed out on grass with no blood. A heavy musk hung in the air. Dogs cowered and would not leave their kennels. A billionaire bought the place. He funded scientists. PhDs arrived with sensors and skepticism. They expected hoaxes. They expected answers. They left shaken. Equipment failed at key moments. Compasses spun. Infrared showed tunnels and things that crawled from other sides of reality. Orbs flashed like conchs and vanished. Investigators reported changes in mood, flash memories, and a creeping dread that felt almost sentient. Cattle vanished, then reappeared crammed into a trailer that hadn't been opened in years. Corral bars magnetized and then relaxed. Wolves stood hypnotized, then woke and panicked. Footprints appeared, huge, bipedal, clawed, spaced impossibly. Then nothing. People guessed military tech, remote viewing, skinwalkers, interdimensional breaches. Each theory fit parts and failed the rest. The phenomenon overlapped myth and machine until the lines blurred. The team filmed points of light mostly. Evidence was dismissed as mundane. The advisory board wanted repeatable proof the ranch refused to give. The phenomenon seemed to anticipate scrutiny. It moved out of frame. It avoided cameras. It learned. It also responded. A man joked about losing his bulls. The ranch answered. A hunter fired at glowing eyes in a tree. They winked out. Something heavy fell. They found only giant prints and a silence that hummed. Neighbors told older stories. Generations had records, odd scratches in memory that predate government projects. If this place is a hub, its reach is ancient. Why spare humans and slaughter animals? Why take organs without a drop of blood? Why do compasses spin and dogs howl at invisible things? No single answer fits. The ranch behaves like a lab, and we are its specimens. The investigators tried science and found limits. Cameras darkened, instruments died, men returned changed. A scientist swore he saw a tunnel of light and a featureless figure crawl through it, faster than any human. Another heard a voice, "We are watching you." By the late 90s, the activity eased. The team left. Ownership changed hands. Activity flared again. Footage remained points of light in blackness. Testimony remained stubborn and consistent. Skeptics call it hoax or hysteria. Believers call it visitation. Both are easy comforts. Both avoid the harder possibility. Something adaptive, intelligent, and indifferent to our categories. So now you know enough to be unsettled. This was not a prank. It was not an experiment that behaved by our rules. It was deliberate. It watched, learned, and replied. If you ever stand on that ridge at night, listen for musk on the wind. Watch where the trees gather light. Don't be surprised if the animals hide. Don't be surprised if your compass trembles. And if something blinks its eyes at the edge of sight, if a pair of yellow orbs follows you across the field, don't run, don't shout. Whatever it is has already heard the thought you are thinking. More witnesses surface each year, reticent, scarred, bound by threats or shame. Pieces of film leak, blurry and maddening, showing moments that refuse ordinary explanation. The last frame is never pleasant. Tonight, there are new lights over the homestead. They blink like a signal. They pulse like a heart. They are waiting.